All right. Thank you, Henry, for volunteering to be first. So today we're going to be talking to the Success Boston Student Leadership Council, where we're going to be going over some questions about um, pretty much, you know, what brought you to Success Boston, your experience at the Boston Public Schools or in high school, and how this organizations and college access and success have helped you as you transition from high school to college. We have students in different types of environments who have gone to different types of schools. So hopefully this can help anyone who is finishing up high school right now and is thinking about taking their next step. They can get some support at successboston.org and just listen to a few of our students who have gone through it and can tell you about what they've done. All right, so we're going to start with Henry Galdames. So Henry, just the first question is pretty basic, but just give me an introduction of yourself and a little bit about your background and high school experience.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Henry Galdames. I went to East Boston High School from the period of 2012 to 15 year, which I graduated, and then immediately right after enter university. I went to UMass Boston as my university. My experience is a little bittersweet, in which I fulfilled my dream of studying what I liked, which is computer science. I was thankfully given a scholarship, which unfortunately was taken away due to one of the financial department of my institution at UMass Boston, and I was not able to fully graduate, but then I retook my studies back in 2019 in a vocational program called Europe, and well, I'm currently working for a nonprofit organization.
Thank you, Henry. That's yeah, I know it's a path that not a lot of people have taken, but I think more and more students are going to programs like Europe or Apprenti or Year 13. So it's this opportunity is definitely an option for many people. And wanted to ask you, so some people might not know, but I was a Success Boston coach back in the day, and Henry, when he finished from Excel High, I was his first coach as he headed Team Mass Boston. So, can you tell us a little bit about how you got support at Excel High to get into college, and then when you were at UMass Boston, how Success Boston helped you out?
Yeah, sure. So, just a quick asterisk. I went to East Boston High, but it's all right. Success Boston was an incredible, solid bridge, and I know this metaphor. It's a little uh, not really figurative, but it was. They gave me all the tools, especially mental wise, to prepare on what college was truly like. Due to the fact that both Joel and Juan have been through these experiences, and they, really knew how to give students, high schoolers, all the insight that really propelled me to have success in my college years. They gave me the resources. They connected me to people who were already in college and had this type of talk that I'm having right now with people who have had the experience and were able to tell me what the most important aspect were, especially coming into a new environment that was unknown for me. And as a first generation who went to college and really had the full experience, how that would be like and how I could, expect to be surrounded by and how to really take advantage of all the opportunities that were at my reach.
Thank you, Henry. And I think that's a big part of the work we do. A lot of the students that we support are first generation college goers, low income, they're immigrants or they're kids of immigrants. And a lot of the coaches, most if not everybody, have that similar background. They've gone through that same experience. They know how to support you. They know how to build that relationship and that trust. And I think it's just really important to help. the young people as they make that next step. And for you, I know you, like you said, you came across the financial aid issues when you went to UMass Boston. But when you decided to go to Europe, how did you figure that out? And was Success Boston able to help you out with that?
Yeah, yeah, totally. I was on my last semester in which I realized I could no longer afford to take any more loans just to keep going my education. So I came to Joel and he and I discussed for like over an hour the different possibilities that I could take, whether that'll be self getting self-trained through books, through websites, etc., etc. And I just told him that what I needed was a jumpstart in that network fields in which not only I'll be getting my credits up, I'll be continuing my regular in person in class learning, but also the work experience in which college sometimes does not really provide as a whole. Like there are no classes that really focus on your work development skills, and like he and I came to a conclusion that probably taking a vocational institution would be my best fit at the time. And Europe came like incredibly at a perfect time, and I took the opportunity, and it's led me to be who I am now, and how I can interpret who I am in the sense as an employee, in the sense as someone who can really grasp everyone's knowledges and flourish through all the wisdom that has been passed to me.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, those conversations that Joel had, the one that he said that took more than an hour, he has that with every other student that he has, right? So when people need to figure out their next step in their journey, our coaches are able to support their students. So the very last question I'm going to ask you is just what guidance or tips do you have for the class of 2021 as they're heading to their next step?
Oh, absolutely. 2021 is a crazy year, and more importantly than ever, is to be connected and to truly build a foundation of connection. Not only know someone, but like truly know what this person means to you. And with that being said, really networking your way around people, because that's the only way you get to know what who knows who in order for you to succeed in a certain place and time. And well, my advice sums up with that word, network. And the more you know, the more people you know, the more you grow as a person, because you acquire the skills, the way of living, the way of life, and that's how you grow in this day and age.
Thank you, Henry. That's very wise. I think knowing, yeah, talking to people, knowing how they can help you, how you can help them. I think that's a great way to that's a great advice to give some of our graduating seniors. Thank you, Henry. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. So next up, we're gonna have Neviat. I'm volunteering you for our
Sure.
next mini interview. So gonna get a lot of the same questions that we asked Henry. So just want to have you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your high school experience and uh, go on from there.
Sure. So my name is Nebiat. Um, I currently just graduated from Bunker Hill Community College. So I'm heading to UMass Amherst for fall semester. A little bit about my high school experience. So I went to another course to college. Um, so when I was in high school, I didn't know anything about um, college. I just know the name and some of few college names. So I just didn't know what to do. And I think a week before my high school graduation, Joel and Lisa, who are a Success Boston coaches, came to our high school, and they say that they talked to us about what they do, how they can help us succeed in college. They showed us data of people who graduated from BPS and how they want to change that data. So I learned about them, and I started to connect with them. They emailed us to connect with them. So that's how I met Success Coaches at Success Boston. And after that, I've been with them for 3 years. And I would say they helped me through my college experience. And I'm glad I did that connection.
That's awesome. Yeah. We, when I was a coach as well, we would go into the high schools. And yeah, that last week of graduation where it was sign out week and like the assembly and having people talk to you about what's the next step, what are you going to do? And you're right, Navia. The thing we talked about with Success Boston is BPS students, they graduate high school at good rates, but when they get into college, a lot of our students don't end up finishing. So we wanted to make sure we could change that. And the way we are doing that is getting you support. So now you're one of the success stories, right? And like Henry as well, who graduated from Europe, you're finishing at Bunker Hill and you're headed off to UMass Amherst, which it's a great opportunity, and we're just hoping for the best for you. So you mentioned a little bit about how Joel and Lisa helped you out, right? And they said that they helped you for these past 3 years. So what could you tell me a little bit about how they helped you when you were at Bunker?
Yeah, so at Bunker Hill, they have office hours where they will be available for us in person, but you always can email them every day, any day. They can reply to you. So it's just like your parents, they're always there for you. So the success coach people, they're always there for you when you email them. So um, for me, college was like a new experience. So I always email Lisa before she was gone to different career. But yeah, so I emailed Lisa. She also emailed me with resources at Bunker Hill. So even if I'm new at Bunker Hill, I have the person telling me, if you have any questions about financial aid, the office is right there, and this is the person that you can talk to. Oh, so that I don't have to research, there's a person telling me what to do. And if you are interested in applying for a scholarship, these are available scholarship at your school. If you want to check it out, you can check it out. So, oh, that's great. So I apply for scholarships. And if I think that I'm not doing good in my class, I always email Lisa or Joel. So they reply and what's going on? Let's talk. So we meet up, we talk. They were like, you can talk to this person. I can also tell you what to do. So they've always been a support each year, every month, every week. So that's how they guide me through it. And yes, I wasn't by myself in college. If I was by myself, I think that would be really hard. So that support system from Texas Boston was really super powerful because people are sharing their knowledge. Um, and these are people who are experts. So you're getting something from them. And that was really helpful for me.
Yeah, so that's something that we really try to do. We connect with all the schools that our students go at to make sure that we know where those resources are. So like you mentioned, if you're struggling in class, the Joel or Lisa would be able to meet with you at Bunker Hill or now meet with you on Zoom or on the phone and then tell you like, okay, these are the people you need to talk to if you have some issues with this, or if you have financial aid issues, this is the person to reach out to. And because we've been doing this for more than 10 years as an initiative, we know all the major people at the school. So if you're headed to Bunker Hill, if you're headed to UMass Boston or one of the main universities or colleges or programs in greater Boston, we more than likely know the people there and we can make sure to support you if you're coming in as a student. Um, Thank you. Thank you. And the very last question is last question I asked Henry. So what's one tip or some guidance that you would give to the high school graduates of class of 2021?
For the class of 2021, I mean, they've been through a lot because of COVID, and they can do a lot since they passed COVID. So I think one of the advices I will give them is to just be be open-minded about things, and use your resources and sources. If you know someone, email them. Everyone who knows you and who asked you to contact them, they meant it, so they really want to help you. So don't hesitate to ask for help whenever you are. if you're struggling, you're not the only person who's struggling. So there's so many people that struggles, so many people that need help. So it's just not you. Go for it. Go ask for help. And I would say be open-minded. Participate in different events in your college, outside of your college. Just be open-minded and find the sources and use the sources. And you can do it since you've been through a lot this year. I think the future is going to be bright and good for you.
Thank you, Nebia. That is very, very true, especially asking for help. And yeah, I had the exact same experience when I came up for college. I was the first in my family to graduate high school and go to college. And, my parents loved me, but they just didn't know how to help me. So I struggled my first year, and then it took someone, an adult, a professor, to reach out to me and say, "Hey, you look like you need help. Here's something I can do," and that helped me get on the right path. And really, I want to make sure that students like myself that come from similar backgrounds, who have parents who are new to the country or are low income, that they have that same support. So thank you, Navia. That was amazing. And then last but not least, we have Common. Do you? Here we go. Yeah, Common. All right. So
Hi.
same first question for Common. Just tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're at in college right now, and what are your career plans?
Okay, so if I forget anything, please remind me because I have short-term memories. So my name is Common. I am a junior at Tufts right now. I'm studying community health, and I'm also on the pre-med track. So after graduation, I'm planning to take one gap year and probably do some research, do more community service, travel because we've been in lockdown for 2 years. So I'm planning to just enjoy myself during the gap year, and then hopefully go to medical school after one gap year. And I went to Boston Latin Academy.
Awesome. That is amazing. I think, especially after this year, I think everyone knows how important it is to be in healthcare, and I think you're on the right path. So thank you for that. So could you tell me a little bit about when you were at Boston Latin, how they helped you with getting into college and getting to Tufts?
Yeah, I would say BLA had its own classes during your senior year to do the Common App and everything. But I think more importantly, the organization that helped me even more was Bottom Line. Because Bottom Line was really the organization that I would spend almost every single week. Almost every single week, but a lot of my time there. And we would actually go through the college list and my essay and financial aid. Even now, Bottom Line continues to have that relationship with you. And before COVID, they would come to our university and check in with us at least once a semester. And I still do my financial aid with my Bottom Line coach every single semester. So that has been really helpful. And I think what also has been really helpful was that I received a scholarship from Bottom Line, and that has been really helpful with the daily things that I need for my dorm in terms of textbooks, for example, or any activities that need to be paid. Because I know one thing about going to a predominantly white and wealthy institution is that a lot of people like to go out and have fun, but as a first generation and low income student, you're not always able to afford those things. So having that opportunity to really have those funds available for you is something that has really changed my life, and has really changed the way that I see college.
Yeah, I think Bottom Line is one of the best organizations in the city, especially with college access and success. And like you mentioned, they're still supporting you, and you're pretty close to finishing up at Tufts. And yeah, Bottom Line, they support students for 6 years. So 4 years in college and then 2 years after. So they really invest in students and making sure that you're supported to your next step. Um, and you mentioned financial aid. So that's something a lot of students don't know. They have to do your financial aid every year. Your FAFSA, you don't just do it in high school. You got to do it every year. So I wanted to ask, like, is there one outside of financial aid, including financial aid? What's one thing that bottom line with while you were in college?
Yeah, I feel like there's so many examples, but I think just one example that could be relating to everyone is that they gave a Better Health subscription, which is like online therapy for everyone, for like every single student, not just like specific people. And so like I think that the 1 year subscription is really helpful because I know that people's health insurance may not include it, for example, which can be really expensive. Um, and just having that Better Health subscription, you can really find out different therapists who are can be like people of color. Um, and then really like having that has been really helpful for me because obviously like during the pandemic, a lot of people have a lot of trouble with mental health and such. So I'm a huge mental health advocate. So that's just one thing that Bottom Line has given me. But in addition to that, I just feel like the support in terms of the check-ins to see if I'm okay or not. I think that has been really helpful. And just having like similar to the Success Boston coaches, that person that has gone through this journey before has been really helpful in sharing their experiences. And just getting advice from them has been really helpful.
That's amazing. Yeah, bottom line has been doing a lot, and some other organizations as well, especially with mental health, where yeah, we're seeing a lot of students and everybody else, not just students, but students specifically getting needing some support in that area. And that's just one of the things that our programs are able to help out with. So I'm really glad that you were able to take part in that. That's great. Um, and then the very last thing, like I asked Nebiat and Henry, like what's one tip or some guidance that you would give to the graduating class of 2021?
Yeah, I was waiting for this question because I think like as a FGLI student, you don't realize like you have imposter syndrome or like there's just so much like whiteness surrounding you. So I had a big culture shock as well. So one thing that really helped me was a pre-orientation where you come in 5 days before everyone else comes in. And the pre-orientation that I was specifically in was for first generation low income people of color. And so that's where I really found my community. And I highly recommend doing something like that if your school has it, because not only are you coming to campus and like knowing the area earlier than everyone else, I think that community and social support and having different student groups has been so important to me, and finding your people, because I know that like as an FGLI student and like a PWI again, it's easy to feel isolated. So having those student body groups that really were there for me and were helpful to me, and even friends who were in the same classes as me saying, oh, let's go do a study group or let's study together. That was really helpful in terms of passing classes. And just like everyone else says, like definitely go to your professor's office hours. Not that many people go to office hours, to be honest. So it's a great way to get to know your professor. Great way to ask them if you're interested in their research, if you want to work in their lab, if you want to ask them for a letter of recommendation for a future internship. That's going to be really helpful in the future. So highly recommend getting to your professor's office hours and then knowing your people. But then most importantly, I would say like have fun in college. I know like since I'm like fairly close to home, it was very easy for me to go back and forth. But I think like getting that full college experience is really important, and being independent and growing and learning who you are as an adult has been really important to me. Um, so I would just say like enjoy your college experience, because I think like looking back since we had COVID, I wish I enjoyed more of my freshman year, instead of like going home, for example. And so like I know for senior year coming up, I'm gonna have to do more fun things with friends because it's like gonna be my last year. So definitely just like enjoy your time in college, because I think what people have told me is once you're out of college, it's like you're an adult now. So it's like hard and everything.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have some fun in college because yeah, once like you said, once you're out and you're in the real world, quote unquote, yeah, you got to do work and you have less time for that. So I'm glad that you really advocated for just, taking time for yourself and making sure you see friends and socialize, because that's so important, especially after these past couple of years. Thank you, Pam. Appreciate your insight and your contribution. And thank you, everybody else. So for students who are watching this, please, if you're interested in getting some support as you're finishing up high school, which you probably already did, and you still need to figure out your next steps, whether you're going to a 4-year institution, 2-year, 1-year program, whatever it may be, Success Boston is here to help you. So if you have any questions, you can just go to our website, successboston.org. There's a bunch of information there. You can also reach out and email us. All our information is there as well, but you can email me at juan.cantu@tbf.org. And I'll make sure to put that up later as well. But thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.